What's up, everybody? This is a wood splitter that I received, not to purchase or not that it's mine, but I received it to work on it. And if I can get this motor running and get this wood splitter working, then she will give me a Toyota Sienna minivan that I can do what I want with a title. So I figured this would be an easy flip, a little bit different from Marketplace. I ended up getting this wood splitter from the girl that bought my first trailer build that I did. And she said, hey, I have a wood splitter. If you can get it working, I'll give you either money or this van. And I really want the van to see if we can flip it into a profit and to see where that goes. So with that being said, this motor, she said it's been sitting for about 5 years. Don't know the status of it. I know the filter's missing. There's water in the carburetor port here. It isn't locked up, and that's about all she knows. So if we can get this thing running, we get a free minivan. So let's get into it. All right, this is the wood splitter. It's fairly decent shape. It is a pretty heavy duty one. It's a 34 ton. It's got a 10.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton on it, overhead valves. And one thing cool about this wood splitter, not only is it very thick, very heavy duty, but it can split logs this way, the traditional way, or you could pull this pin right here and it'll be up and down. So overall, a relatively pretty decent wood splitter. It's just been sitting for 5 years, and we got to see about getting this thing running. And I'll see what I can do, and hopefully we can. So I'm going to take this cover off, get everything cleaned up, check the oil, carb. Probably 100% is going to have to come off, but we'll check over everything, and then we'll get it all pressure washed, cleaned up, and see if we can get a minivan out of it. All right, one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to take the spark plug out. It does move, but it has a lot of resistance, like it's fighting me. So I'm going to take the spark plug out and see if it will pull a little bit better. Wow. Guys, look at that right there. Look at all the water pouring out of the piston. I'm very doubtful we'll have some good luck with this machine, this motor, but we will see. And look at the spark plug. Soaked in water. All right, well. Getting all that nasty water out. Wow, look at that. Probably a mouse nest or something. All right. Yeah, I'm not even going to attempt to put gas or anything. I'm going to take this completely apart, clean the carb out, inspect it, check the oil. Well, we'll check the oil now. Seems like there might be just a smidge on the bottom, and even then it looks all milky and nasty. So definitely weathered, and I think part of it is because this filter housing's off and all the water is just pouring straight into the intake to the carb. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this cover off. That way we can look at the motor more, and we can expose the carburetor, make it a little bit easier to take off and see what we're dealing with. It does turn over. I do have a compression tester, so we'll check the compression as well. But that was a lot of water pouring out of the cylinder, so. feel like I'm missing something. Oh, wow. All right. Look at this motor. I'm honestly shocked if I don't have a mouse jump out at me. Yeah, let's get this bad boy cleaned up. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna go get my air gun and air compressor and blow all this stuff out. All right, got the compressor, got a hose. All right, got it blowed off temporarily at the moment. Made it look a lot better, but right now I'm gonna go ahead and get this carb off, check it out. Guys, look at this little intake here. See how nasty all that stuff is. Ugh. Definitely get all these components cleaned up. Yeah, probably one of the worst carburetors I've ever seen. Wow. Hands down, definitely one of the worst. I don't know if y'all could see that. Worst carburetors I have ever seen. And I've done a lot of stuff. Can we save it? I have no idea. Are we gonna try? Absolutely. It does look like this little piece here is broke. But that is on the outside. I'm not necessarily worried about that. I'm worried about this one more. And it seems to be in shape, so let's go get this thing cleaned up. All right, everybody, I'm in my basement and I'm gonna try my best to clean this thing up. I think we can save it, but I think it's just gonna take a lot of elbow grease. So I think we can save it. I'm not sure yet. So I do have some brake cleaner, carb cleaner. First thing I'm gonna do is take this little bottom nut off, get the float bowl exposed. Like the nut sees to the actual bolt itself. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Ah, come right out. All right, let me get you in the light here. That's what I'm looking at. I've seen worse than this in the bowl, but not inside the actual carb itself. But overall, inside the bowl is not too bad. So we're gonna take the components apart and try to clean it up the best I can. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is get these the float out. Got a pick here. Just pull this pin. The float itself comes out. You gotta be careful. And there's the little needle. So there's those components. Like I said, inside the float, it is bad, but I have seen worse than that. Just the inside. So now, I'm going to leave this out for now. And we will see. Whoa. Alright, I gotta show you all this. Now this container was completely empty. Look at all that nasty sediment, rust, rocks, dirt, debris. Ugh. But even that right there cleaned it up quite a bit. I do have this little brush and I'm gonna try to clean it out the best I can, and we'll check the jets, and yeah, let's keep going. I'll tell you what, I wish I had one of those, I don't even know what they are. It's when you put them in a container, you turn the electric onto it, and it bubbles and degrades everything out. I guess if I keep doing this, I definitely need to get me one of those, because that would come in handy. Alright, got the carburetor all cleaned out, best that I can with what I got. But I do think it will work just fine. So now at this point I'm going to put it all back together, and fingers crossed when we go to put fuel in this thing and try to start it, it'll be alright. But we're not there yet, so let's get this put back together and keep working. Alright, there it is. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and throw this carburetor back on. Alright, carburetor's back on. Now let's see what the next step's going to be. Before I put the intake and all that stuff on, I do want to get that cleaned up, but I want to get to see if it has spark and all this stuff, but right now there wasn't no good oil inside of it. So I'm going to drain the oil that's in it and then put some new oil in it, and then we'll check for spark and compression. Alright, I went to the store, I got some oil. I don't think there's that much oil, so I'm going to put it in this little container right now. And then I got an empty container that I can put it in after. Oh, water. Guys. That's not good at all. Just water. That's not good at all. All right, I left the drain plug off for about 10 minutes. I let it drip out as much as it was can. I sprayed some All right, I left the drain plug off for about 10 minutes. Let everything drain out as much as possible. I got some brake cleaner, sprayed it through here, tried to flush it out a little bit, clean it up. Let it drip the best I could. Now I'm gonna fill it up with a quart of 10W30. It's nothing special, it's just Dollar General, but I think it'll be just fine. At least we'll know it has fresh, brand new oil in it. Just hoping we don't have a head gasket or something. Alright. Let that sit for a minute. Alright, got the carburetor on, fresh oil change, flushed out the oil the best I could, tried to clean the carburetor the best I could. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the top back on, and we're going to do two things. I'm going to do a compression test, which on this motor, you need between 60 and 90 PSI. And then I want to check for spark, because that's a big concern. This flywheel is pretty rusted, this coil pack's really rusted up, so if we get a spark, perfect. Next thing we knew after that, add some fuel and see if she'll fire. But let's get the carburetor, or not the carburetor, the compression test and the spark plug done. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but where I live on Lake Harrington, on a big lake in Kentucky. And whenever those sirens go off, that means they're about to open the dam and either let water in or drop it on the other side and let water out. It's going off now. I don't know if y'all can hear it on the camera. Now, of course, when the sirens go off, I got dogs barking at my neighbor's place. Well, I'll put this on. I think it's just important to tell you all, the old lady that I'm getting this off of, I don't want her to be offended saying old. She's in her 60s. But she lives on a little homestead by herself. And she's having wood being delivered to her, and she has a fireplace. So she got this years ago hoping she can cut down her own wood. She has plenty of acres, plenty of trees. But it's been broke down, and now she's struggling a little bit with money. So I'm hoping this helps her out. And the van she has, it's nothing special. She has like 5 vehicles. So I'm hoping to help her out, and she'll help me out. All right, got the cover back on. Working pretty good. It does feel like there is plenty of compression, but you never know, and I want to make sure where it had all that water in the motor. Wrong size, next size up. said earlier, we need between 60 and 90 for it to be okay. That's still on the low end, but 90 to 150 is ideal. So, and that's what Google said. I don't know this specific motor's compression, but I believe anything over 90 will be amazing. So. All right. I don't know if y'all can tell, but we're right at 130. So that's amazing. All right, now let me get this off and we're gonna check for spark. All right, this spark plug was pretty rough. I sprayed it down with some brake cleaner and tried to dry it off, but it is looking pretty decent. So fingers crossed, we'll find out. Right now, I'm just gonna put it to it, pull it a few times and see if we can get some sparks. All right, I don't see no spark at all. Try it one more time. Wedge it in here somewhere. Yep, no spark. So I'm gonna get this cover off, and first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sand and grind down the flywheel and see if we can get that coil pack rusted up, cleaned up. All right, everybody, I wish I was lying to y'all. I ended up taking this off and was playing around with it and checking the wire first, and the first thing I saw was over here, it was in the off position. And I turned to the on position and now we have spark. So I guess that's easy fix, but I will take it. So I'm gonna get this tightened back up, and then we will put the spark plug back in and see if we can get some fire. All right, everybody, got the top back on position, carburetor cleaned out, got the, drawing a blank, fresh oil change, spark plug put back in. It is the original spark plug. If it does run, I do want to replace that for her. It's old, rusted up, nasty. And I'm going to try to find her an air filter and this cover here. I don't know if I can find one, but there might be one online maybe. And then I'm going to put a little bit of starting fluid in there to see if it pops off and tries to start. And then I'll hook up the fuel line and put some gas in it. All right, got a little bit of starting fluid. It is in the choke position. Put it run. Look at that. Awesome. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some fuel. All right. Get the fuel line hooked back up. It's really good in there. All right, it's about half full there. You want to make sure it runs, right? All right, choke. Might take a minute to run through the fuel pump and the fuel filter. little bit easier than I thought it would be. I really thought that carburetor was going to give us a lot of problems. Sorry about the wind, it's very windy today. But I think the next step is I really need to clean this thing. This thing has not seen the light of day in 5 years. It's been sitting in the same spot. And I also want to go do a few little improvements. I'm going to go get a new spark plug, a new fuel filter for her, and a new filter for the hydraulic fluid. And then we're just going to wash this thing all up and make it look really good. And then also I want to try it out for myself. I do have a few logs over here that I can cut up just to show you all and check it out. All right, but for now I want to go get this thing washed at a car wash, get it cleaned up really good, because once again, if you watch my previous videos, you know my pressure washer is still broken. Maybe that should be my next build. All right, everybody, made it to the car wash. I ended up putting a plastic bag over the gas cap because it is cracked, and the carburetor, because I don't want no water to get into that. But right now I'm going to go ahead and clean it off and show y'all the process of before and after. All right, what's up, everybody? It is the next day. Last night I had every intention on finishing up this little fix up here, but I had to spend some family time with the kiddos. But today I got some good news. I ended up going out and I ended up getting, I got a new fuel filter, I got a new spark plug, a new air filter, and get this, guys. So this morning I was scrolling on Facebook Marketplace and I found this one guy. He lived about 15 minutes away and he had a bunch of motors, a bunch of Briggs and Strattons and a bunch of random motors. And I was able to get the cover that goes to the motor here. And I get there and he said only $5. So let me show you here. Now, once I get the filter on and all the parts, look how much this was missing. Now that I have it on, look how much nicer. I mean, finally a complete motor. It completely transformed this. Now there is a couple things I still need, and today is Sunday, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this motor, get all the pieces on, and I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna cut a board, or cut a log vertically and horizontally and vertically, just to show you this thing working. And then I have this filter I need to change. I went everywhere today and everything's closed. And I also, this gas cap, I'm not happy with it. It's cracked, as you can see right there, so need to get that fixed as well. But I'm gonna post this video, and I was not gonna post it because I wanted this to be complete and to trade it back to the van that I'm gonna get, but she's out of town till tomorrow. So I'm gonna say this is gonna be a part 1, and then tomorrow, once I get the van, we'll make another video and show you the van that I got this for. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and get these parts changed and put on and see if we can cut some wood. First thing I'm gonna do is change this air filter. Doesn't fit quite right. There it goes. All right, that's on. Next, I'm gonna do the spark plug. Now the replacement spark plug I bought that said it was for this model is completely different. So don't know if that's gonna make a big deal. I'm guessing it might. Yeah, the threads fit up, but it doesn't go in there long enough. So I'm gonna put it on, and then we'll try to fire it and see if it'll work. If not, I'll get a new spark plug. Yeah, because the model I pulled up popped up this one, the RJ19LMC. So I just feel like that would make a big difference with that. But we'll see. I'm gonna keep it just in case. Next thing I got is this fuel filter. I'm just gonna use the end line here. Perfect. Fits really good. All right. Yeah, that old one. It's definitely seen better days. All right, everybody, now that we got the fuel filter on, air filter on, new spark plug, oil change, cleaned out all the mice nests in the motor. Motor's running good, carburetor's completely cleaned up. I'm gonna cut up a log over here. I got this one log, it's about 4.5 feet long. I'm gonna cut it in half, and we're gonna split one horizontal, and then I'm gonna unhook it, lift it up, split one vertical, just to test it out, make sure everything's working good before we give it back and get the van tomorrow. So let's get this log cut up. This is the log we're gonna be splitting in half. Nothing special, nothing big, not too crazy, but we're just gonna cut it right down the middle, and then we'll get it put on the wood splitter and see how it does. All right, that's pretty neat. All right, everybody, there it is. We were able to do a lot to this motor to get it back running up in good shape. I'm very pleased with it. It works both horizontally and vertically very well. I don't think she'll have any problems with it, and if she does, I'll help her fix it. The only things I do want to get replaced, which I will before I give it back to her, is this fuel cap, and I'm going to get a new replacement hydraulic filter. I already called the shop. I called them yesterday, but they closed at 12, and I called them at like 11:30. And I didn't have enough time to get there. So they said Monday morning they'll have them out ready for me. So I'll get those two swapped out, and then in the next video, we'll go pick up the van, drop this off to her, see how she likes it, and begin our next project. If y'all like what y'all seen, if y'all don't mind, like, comment, let me know if there's any builds you all want to see or try to do. But I'm going to try to flip this van and do something better with it. Either flip it, trade it to something better that we can work on, or sell it and make a profit. So, like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.